Listen, I gotta give a shout out to all my short kings out there. Some of you guys are not getting the play you deserve. And I am really trying to understand why women don't want to date short men. What? Short men are easier access to my pussy. I don't. Hello? What?
I'm not into short ties, height matters. This leads into my primary place of why is the level pill so severe. Most ladies will have a standard where you as a person can be prudently dismissed without being allowed an opportunity as you don't meet her base height limit. A man will get dismissed in view of his height alone, barring different variables. You're generally protected if your typical height in a Western nation is 5'10". The dismissal rate is just 15%. However, this figure plunges to half from losing only 2 inches. 5'6" is surprisingly more terrible, where a faltering 75% of young ladies will have previously dismissed a man exclusively based on his height. In conclusion, at 5'4", a crazy 90% of ladies will dismiss a man simply based on his height. This is the reason one of, if not the greatest misguided judgment individuals have about current dating, is that folks get to pick who they date. It appears to be many individuals inaccurately accept folks have the power and opportunity of decision. This is misleading. Men don't pick, ladies pick. How many individuals say men pick when most of folks have no choices, not to mention a couple? Most normal folks get just a modest bunch of matches on Tinder, while essentially all ladies get hundreds, if not thousands. Actually, men don't pick, men offer. A lady will choose if she has any desire to acknowledge that proposition. So returning a direct about pre-planned level dismissals, folks who make statements like, "Gracious, I've avoided a disaster there," are certainly adapting as essentially they're overlooking the severe truth that ladies for the most part won't think often about a man's character until after they've shown they like his looks. In the event that a man actually decides to deceive himself into adapting to phrases like, "I don't need her at any rate," the reality remains. There will continuously be bounty more folks to have his spot in a moment. If you don't meet a lady's height prerequisites, there will be a lot of others that will. We should discuss OnlyFans. This is presumably the very things most miserable about the dating market at the present time. I am sure there will be folks out there who are feeling frustrated about themselves about being dismissed by ladies, and not even due to their level. There's really nothing that this can't be about. These folks will leave harsh and irate remarks, and be energizing the issue by buying into these young ladies' OnlyFans. In the event that you're one of these folks, you're just going against yourself. I will continue on toward 4 accounts currently showing the effect level has on your dating life. There's something notable and alluded to as the 80/20th rule, which states, in the present dating, the vast majority of ladies need just the best of fifth of men. Thus, fundamentally, most of lower folks are forgotten. 20% is comparable to 1 for every 5. The vast majority of ladies will pick in light of the 80/20th rule. For the folks in the 80%, they're all falling far behind in several ways. Here is my subsequent tale. This experience really made me second-guess myself and my opinion on the significance of height for folks. I said with regards to height, it's not close to as significant as having an appealing face, and for however long you're 5'8" to 5'9". That is sufficient level, and it turns out to be more about your face after that. In under about 14 days, I understood I was 100% wrong. At a dance club, me and my companion saw this person who was best case scenario, a 4 out of 10 in the face. There could be no different words to depict other than he seemed to be a wild bear. Be that as it may, he was a monster, to some degree in the 6'6" to 6'7" territory, effectively 2 inches taller than the second tallest person in the club. Inside around 45 minutes, I saw him made out with not one but 2 unique young ladies, both hot, both profoundly alluring. The main thing I needed to contemplate after this is plainly this didn't occur because of game or expertise. In a real sense, anybody who's been to a club in the UK realizes you can't have even the slightest chance to speak over the ludicrously uproarious music. As a matter of fact, I question he even realized these young ladies' names prior to making out with them. For folks, it can truly be a situation where for however long you're sufficiently tall, it doesn't make any difference if your face is regularizing or even somewhat underneath standardizing. It reaches a place where your height simply conveys you, particularly in a climate like a club, where everybody's standing up and the lighting is poor, so consideration is detracted from individuals' countenances. Here is my next tale. I will always remember a young lady I once dated used to play table tennis. There was a decent blend of all kinds of people at her club, and once she returned from an instructional meeting, and she educated me concerning the overall contrast in conduct she saw between every one of the short folks contrasted with the tall folks. Whenever her ball bobbed away from the table and somebody got it to give it back to her, assuming the person was tall, he wasn't convoluted about it, he'd simply give it straight back to her. In the interim, assuming the person was short, he would attempt buffoon-maxing his approach to returning the ball playing dumb games. For instance, a short person would say, "You need to figure which one is yours first," before he gave it back. Hearing this really made me flinch. I didn't know whether to giggle or cry at exactly the way that terrible a person must be to do this. For what reason did the short folks want to make jokes and play dumb games rather than simply acting ordinary? It's like they're attempting to compensate for their height. The last story, this one is so ruthless I've saved it appropriate for the end. This was presented on Reddit by a man who's 23 years of age and has been hitched for almost one of the 4 years he's been along with his better half. The fundamental feature is the point at which his significant other told him, "With each of the issues you've had with your height, perhaps we ought to ponder getting a seed donor." I'm surprised. This pretty much summarizes the most horrendously terrible issues you might look at as a short person. Just stop and think for a minute. I frequently hear folks making statements like, "I realize a person who's short, he has no issues drawing in ladies. He has a sweetheart at the present time." These models do occur. They are intriguing, yet they in all actuality do happen periodically. Nonetheless, what you never find in these cases is what's going on within, because odds are a lady who's involved with a short person knows she's involved with a short person. This can influence the relationship quality. A recent report features ladies are generally content with their accomplices on the off chance that the person is 21 centimeters taller, or about 7 to 8 creeps than them. Another concentrate likewise shows short folks are over 2 times as liable to be harassed in school than normal level folks or above. The review showed the pace of harassing was 46% for the short guys, yet just 21% for non-short guys. This leads into my last point, since I frequently hear content makers discussing how for folks, having the right mentality is critical to expanding your possibilities in dating. Based on this study, how is a man supposed to have a healthy mindset when traumatic experiences in his upbringing affecting that? This is stemming from a factor guys mostly can't control. Therefore, even if mindset does play a large role of being successful in dating and relationships as a man, then surely height is still going to be a big part of that. That's the video. Please leave a comment and like the video, as it helps the YouTube algorithm.